Good morning. We're here in the Tonto National Forest. Sun's just rising. Oh, and the coyotes are howling. Okay, I'm going back in the van and make myself some coffee. Try to warm up a little bit.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken.
I'm just taking a little walk here around the campsite. Well, I mean, around the area around the campsite. What is this? It looks like the monsoons washed a big hole. And it's all filled. It's obviously trash, but it almost looks like there was a house here or a building of some kind. And it fell in. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Anyways, up here it's clean, no trash. So I'm north of Phoenix, and I had to come up over a really crazy pass. It was very narrow and steep. So yeah, it took a while and quite a climb to come up here. There's a lot of cactus here too. A lot of teddy bear cholla. I think this is real teddy bear cholla. Very furry looking. And a lot of dead cactus too. And plenty and plenty of wood. There are a lot of dead plants here. Okay, I'm sure I didn't walk that far. There's so much vegetation out here. It's not like your typical desert where you can see your van from miles away. Thank goodness for my big, ugly ass roof rack. That's all shiny aluminum. Man, no matter how many vans are in a parking lot, I can always find my van. And right now, I see something shining and sparkling in the sun. I wasn't that far away, I guess. So let's sit down in the sun, get a little more warmed up, still a little chilly. Who are you? Do you have a collar on? You're out here in the desert all alone? Well, you look pretty friendly. Where's your owner? I don't think you should be out here in the desert all alone, especially a small little thing like you. There's coyotes out here. She just wandered into my camp. And she's just walking around the desert. I bought some new leveling blocks. Well, I never had any. I was using pieces of wood that I had found. But they were very long and bulky, and I had a hard time finding a place to store them. So I found these on eBay. Yep, they were used and they were really cheap. Hey, they're gonna get dirty anyways. I didn't need brand new ones. I got enough to level me out, I think, pretty much in any situation that I've been in yet. And they also store up much smaller. Today I'm gonna do a little experiment. Experiment in baking. I'm gonna try to make an apple pie using the air fryer. And instead of a traditional crust, I'm going to mix some different flours and some nuts. Instead of rolling the dough out, I'll press it into a pan. Yeah, it'll be a rustic vegan version of an apple pie. I love to experiment when I bake. I remember as a child growing up in the 60s, at Christmas time, I would usually ask for one of those science kits they used to have that were popular back then, where you would mix different chemicals and create something. And then one Christmas, my young little sister received an easy bake oven. And I think I probably spent more time with that oven than she did. I'm going to chop up some walnuts here. We've got ground up walnuts, almond flour, a little bit of oat flour, some chickpea flour, and some rolled oats. Add a little bit of sugar. I don't use sugar too often, but for something like this, I'll add a little sugar. Not a lot, because the apples are going to be very sweet. And some cinnamon, and a teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to add my wet ingredients. And today, again, I'm going to be using a flax egg to replace a traditional egg. If you don't know what a flax egg is, it's flax meal mixed with water. And it kind of gels up into an egg-like consistency. I'm just going to add a very small amount of a kind of a tasteless oil. This is grapeseed oil. And because I'm using all these different flours here, they will tend to need more liquid. I'll add some water, and I'll just keep adding water until I get the consistency of a dough. As a non-traditional crust, it's not going to be rolled out. It's going to be put into the pie dish and spread out. So I've already prepared my air fryer basket here with some parchment paper. I think I said before, I like to use parchment paper. When you're living in a van on the road, it's easier to clean up. And just spread that into the bottom of the pan and make kind of a thin crust, maybe a quarter of an inch thick. I'm going to use about half of the dough for the bottom crust and then save the other half for the top crust. And we'll take that and pop that in the air fryer basket. And we'll set the air fryer at about 350 and cook that for, I don't know, we'll have to see since this is experimental. Might be about 10 or 15 minutes until we get it lightly brown. I like to leave the skins on the apples. When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. I wasn't much of a outdoor baseball kind of kid like my brother. I actually like to stay around my mom. My mom was a wonderful mother. She had a great sense of humor. So I have wonderful memories of that. But I would watch her do her homemaking stuff. And I learned a lot about cooking from her. But she would make her apple pies from scratch. Every holiday, apple pies, my favorite pie. She would make pumpkin too, but I didn't like pumpkin at the time. And I would wait for her to, after she rolled out the pie dough and put it in the pie plate, she would cut off the edges there, and the extra dough we would take and roll it up into, put cinnamon and sugar on it and make little tiny cinnamon, I don't know, rolls or croissants or whatever you want to call them. And that would be a little treat while she was making the apple pie. She would always put a little lemon juice on there. I'm going to add some applesauce. Some people don't like raisins in their apple desserts, but I'm going to add some raisins. And when you're cooking without a lot of sugar, the raisins will help to sweeten it. Kind of mix that all in, and then since I'm cooking in a van and I don't have the luxury of an oven, cooking time in the air fryer is a little bit different. You can't cook it as long as you would in an oven. The crust will get overcooked and the apples won't cook enough. So what I'm going to do is pop it in the microwave and pre-cook these. Okay, the crust is done. It's lightly browned and it's firm. And the apples are pre-cooked and ready to go in on top of the bottom crust. And just spread those out over the crust there. And since this is experimental, remember, I've never done this before. I was trying to think of how I'm going to get that crust on the top. And in the case that it's so thick, I wouldn't be able to spread it without messing everything up. So I took the rest of the batter and I flattened it out as much as I could. Hey, when you're experimenting, you try different things. So I am going to attempt, hope this works, I'm going to attempt to put this on top of there. This is going to be a balancing act. Now look at that, it worked. And there we have a crust, a top crust on our pie. And here we have the finished version. Now don't laugh, it's a rustic van life apple pie. Okay, let's cut into this and see how it is. Looks like it came out pretty good. Let's give it a taste. Tastes like apple pie. Very good for an experiment, I think. Well, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that segment, and I'll see you next time. It's just amazing, the sunsets every night in Arizona. But it goes so fast. Every minute I look up and it's brighter colors. Even the reflections on the mountains in the east from the sunset are just sometimes as spectacular as the actual sunset in the west.